For fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 20 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys? Venom Fire here, back with another video. And today I'm going to be ranking the best offensive playbooks in Madden 20. I'm going to be going through a little list here, and then after I talk about which one is which ranking, I'm going to go into just practice mode, show you guys all the plays and all the formations, basically why I think it's there on the list. Now, number one on the list, I think this is, a pretty obvious one, and it's going to be the same as last year. It's going to be our Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Raiders, very good run formation, very good pass formation. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's hop onto the Xbox here. All right, and here we are with the Raiders offense. I'm sorry about all the face cam flipping that's going to happen and all of that jazz. I do apologize for that, but I have to be in this left corner for the player to show up. So we got Raiders playbook here. It is the exact same to my knowledge for, I've been running this offense myself in the beta, and it's the exact same. Now, the reason that the Raiders playbook is so good is, again, we have this wing flex close that's really good offense. I've been running this offense, a lot myself, and I've had a lot of success with it. Now, additionally with that, you got wing slot. I've been loving these two formations combined together. You can also have deuce close where the stretch is not bad as well. Running the ball is still good. Don't let anybody fool you. Although most of the players in the beta have been passing, a lot of Madden 20.1 players have been passing the ball. The run is still very good, especially if you don't have your run defense set up. I've been able to run myself every time I've tried to run the ball on pretty much everybody. So don't be fooled. The run is still very good, and you really do want to find some good run D day one. But anyways, we still got I-form close. I-form close stretch is still really good. This PA tight end leak still works as a one-play touchdown. We got power O and obviously dive. We have wide receiver out. Just super great formation. I haven't ran it a ton myself, but I've mixed it into my offense and had great success. Close slot, again, we still got this stretch that's really nice. That's still there. And I-form tight. Now, they actually brought back that motion to where you can motion, in this case, Tyrell Williams. You can motion him all the way over to the left and run stretch to the left. That's something that they put back in the game that was patched in this year's game. So that's something I'm sure if you wanted to run I-tight, you could. I don't really like 3 tight end sets earlier in the year, but that's just me. Strong close, again, it works really well. Pretty much the same as last year. The runs are still pretty good. The passes still work, and I've only ran this for about one game, just trying it out, and I really did have a lot of success with it. All these strong runs, I know the strong H-wing stretch is definitely good. Someone was running that against me, and they had a pretty good success. That's still a good run. Wing close flex, the dive is still very nice out of this. And then the reason that Raiders playbook is so good, because of the passing formations. Not only do you have good run sets, you have really good passing sets. Mainly trips tight end is the best passing set. You got X spot, you got verticals, and you got PA counter go. 3 really good pass plays, as well as the inside zone. So just put all those together, it's very difficult to stop. And you also have this tight slots. That's a really good passing set. Especially if you have a pocket QB or if you have a couple of apprentices or a hot route master. This is a really dominant set. Just mixing between all of these, you obviously got a decent bunch, and this last but not least, Trey Y Flex. So overall, just by far the most balanced playbook. And like I said, being balanced is one of my tips I brought up in the last video. On offense, it's important to be balanced, run the ball a lot. Don't allow your opponent to just rush 3 every play. And that's really where the Raiders playbook, I think, sets the edge on the other playbooks in this list. The ability to be balanced, both have really good run sets and really good pass sets. So that's going to be number 1 on the list. Let's head into number 2. All right, and next up on our list, we got the New England Patriots. Now, number 2 and number 3 were very, very difficult for me to choose, and I just went with what I think what's better for the casual Madden player, and it really is the Patriots playbook. There's so many good formations. We got, right off the bat, we got a slot, split close, 2 great sets, U-trips, it goes on, and overall, as far as running the ball, it might not be the best, but passing, just the amount of sheer formations and, diversity in the playbook, it really sets it apart. So let's go head on the Xbox. All right, and here we are on the practice mode, we got right off the bat single back ace close, really good run formation, and it's really good to audible between this single back ace close and this ace slot offset. Two really good plays. The rest of this I don't really like. I mean, wing slot is decent. You have a good dive stretch, but these under center formations are not the best. And like I said, this is definitely more of a pass heavy offense, which does make it a little bit worse than Raiders. But you got split close. Split close has been one of those formations that I've personally struggled myself defending. It's just a really good balanced set, and there's just a lot of difficult plays to defend, especially with how spread out you can get and just how difficult it is to guard number to number. A slot, I've had someone run this on me temporarily, never someone just running stock a slot, but it's going to be one of those formations, again, really good. I don't know if in the ultimate team you're going to need two good tight ends, two fast tight ends. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that, but post, really good play. This 0-1 trap is really good inside zone. We know about that. And level sail, very good, simple formation. How hard it is to just user and lurk different routes at the same time. This makes it one of the best offenses day one. Next up, we got U-trips. Only one person has run U-trips, and I haven't even ran this formation myself. But the one person that did run it really torched me, this wheel route. What they did in this year's game, they actually took out a lot of these shortened wheel routes, but the one out of wide off trips, U-trips, still works. So the one in bunch doesn't work, the one in tight offset doesn't work, and a lot of the wheel routes don't work anymore. Like those shortened wheel routes where you can put a flat route and it'll beat cover 3, but this one still does work. A lot of these posts are super difficult to defend, post slant combos. And yeah, this is definitely one of the best offenses. I'm probably going to lab it up today. This is the last day of the beta, so I might head in and just try and learn that a little bit. You also got trips. This trips isn't the best, but you still got a lot of the good plays, PA counter go, verticals. You don't have that X spot, but you still have a ton of good formations. And yeah, it's pretty much it. You also have the ability to audible down to an I form out of a split close, which is nice for balance as well. But yeah, overall for the casual player, this is a great playbook to go in, especially if you don't want to just sit there and run, stretch, or dive, run the ball 15 times a game. I think this is probably your best bet for a pass-heavy playbook that is not difficult as well, to where you can switch between formations and still have a high level of success. All right, and here we are, number 3 on the list. Like I was saying, number 2 and number 3 were really difficult for me to choose. In the end, I went with Patriots number 2, and that's going to leave us for West Coast number 3. West Coast offense, definitely one of the best offenses. It's what I have been running personally on offense. Half of the time I've been running half Raiders and half this West Coast, so it's really been very mixed up. But as far as passing the ball, this has been my favorite formation. If you want to learn a formation with a high level of difficulty, I would recommend West Coast Bunch. And yeah, this is probably my day one offense, especially considering the fact that I do like to pass the ball a little bit more than most. So that's just going to give me the edge, I think. Rather than the Patriots playbook, that is still a great playbook, but I think you do need a little bit more abilities out of the Patriots playbook, and bunch specifically is one of those formations where you don't necessarily need all that many abilities. So let's go ahead and show you guys in practice mode what I've learned. All right, and here we are in the West Coast offense. Now, West Coast, it's known for gun bunch. That's the formation that I run. And you still have all of the same plays, which really does make it it's super good for me. They usually take out one or two of the really best gun bunch plays, and they basically did that. They made mesh post pretty bad just because the wheel route they ruined. So that play is definitely not as good, but you still have a ton of the best plays. You got wide receiver post. You have mesh post, which is still decent. You still have that post route that's going to be difficult to defend. Deep corner still does work. The cover 3 beater is a little bit worse, but it still does work, and that corner route is pretty good. Moving on, we got stick. Stick is definitely one of my favorite plays out of the formation. Gun bunch. I'm not going to spoil it too much because I'm going to be dropping a video on this formation right when the game comes out, but very good set to pass the ball out of. You still got sweep, which is nice. And you still got all of these under center sets, near close flags. I played someone running that. It's definitely not bad, but especially without all the abilities, it makes it a lot worse. Strong close, which like I mentioned is a still very usable formation. Very good to mix it in. You got all these run sets. You got all of these decent run sets that you can audible down and audible up to, but like I said, this is playbook that's not going to be for everybody. I don't think you can just pick this playbook up and go flood people by 30 points. I think it's going to be very difficult for you to do that. This formation is going to be one that takes practice, but if you can really master it, I think it is. In my opinion, I would have put it 2 on my personal list, but as far as, keeping it fair for everybody, I had to put it 3 just because I know a lot of people don't use this, or too many people don't use this, and they probably won't use it day 1 just because it's not going to be as good as it is right now in Madden 20. But overall, great formation, tons of great, offensive formations in this playbook, and it's still a very good playbook for day 1 of Madden. And yeah, let's go ahead, hop into number 4. All right, boys, here we are, number 4 on the list. I had to go with the New Orleans Saints. Now, what I think that the top 3 playbooks are going to be a lot better than these 4 and 5 playbooks, but I still wanted to throw in 4 and 5 on the list just to add some diversity in case you don't want to be necessarily meta. If you want to run some off-meta sets, this is probably the playbook for you, Saints. It's a little bit worse with the tight offset nerf. Tight offset is not good. You can't really roll out, throw corner outs like that anymore, especially with all the zone drops. But there's still going to be a lot of good sets and a lot of positives out of New Orleans first off the bat. Let's just go ahead, head into practice mode, and let's talk about it. All right, here we are coming out in the Saints playbook. Saints playbook, like I mentioned, still really good, but the big issue with it is that this tight offset just isn't good. Now, I haven't gone into a game running just tight offset, and I was one of those players that was running this formation before it was meta, but there's just a lot of reasons that this isn't good. Very corner out dependent offense. Unless I want to sit there and throw drags, it's not really feasible for me to get big plays. And they also messed up this Saints wheel route, Saints halfback wheel, which was one of my favorite plays as well. With those two gone from the formation, I think that this is really not the best. You still got PA shot seam, still a couple of usable plays, but in my opinion, the reason I put it on the list is really this Y-off trio. This is a really good set. Day 1, you can really spread out the offense, do a lot of different things, and I have been liking this. I've used it for a game, and I had really good success. Even with Hot Route Master, this is an offense where you don't need Escape Artist, and you can still have really good success running the ball. You have reverse, you have Saints cross, you have the Saints out, and you can really do a lot with it. Going with that, also, I faced somebody running this, and you can audible quickly between Taysom Hill and Y-off trio, which is really nice. The read option is still nice. The blast isn't as good, I'll say that, but the read option is still a good play. You still have the stick, which is a decent play. I still think these are 2 great sets. Also, you can mix in this. There's a decent play in Gun Bunch. You have a couple of solid plays. Trey Y flex, again, that's probably the best formation, one of the best formations in this offense. And going off that, we still got weak close flex, really good run set. We have I-form close, really good run set. And we also have some of these decent plays as well. This wing U, wing tight, is pretty good. You also got wing stack. So you really do have a lot of balance. This is another playbook where you can really audible between formations every single play. And you can really, have a lot of success with doing that. It's not one of those West Coasts where you want to sit and bunch the entire game. This is another one where I think you can switch between formations, especially with a player like Lamar Jackson, have a lot of fun. So Saints, number 4 on the list. Let's hop into number 5. All right, and here we are at number 5. Number 5 was very difficult for me because I kind of already knew the top 4 that I wanted. The top 4, those 4 playbooks, I kind of knew would be on the list. I didn't know where, but I still knew that they were really good and they would have been on my list. So number 5, it was very interesting. I had to go back and really think. Now, personally, I would go with something like Packers playbook, but what I think the casual playbook, what I think is probably the best playbook, I'm going to go with the Ravens Live playbook. You could either go Ravens Live. They're very similar, but I think that it's a really good formation, especially as far as running the ball. There's a lot of good run sets out of it, which is good. It's another playbook where you can really pound the rock, similar to Las Vegas, but there's also some really good pass plays. I really like the bunch. You have a pistol bunch. You have a couple of really good pistol bunch, and this is a good off-meta formation if you want to be unorthodox. I know a lot of people are probably going to run this playbook, especially more of the casual players, just because they want to run the Ravens offense that they run, in real life, and I think that it can be fun for them out of this Ravens playbook. Let's just go ahead, hop into the practice mode now. All right, and here we are out in the offense. Now, like I said, I was really debating between even Panthers like Cardinals and this Ravens. I decided to go with Ravens just because of the pure formation diversity of the offense. I think it all starts with this, gun bunch, which is probably the formation that you would want to run the most out of this. You have a lot of good plays as clear out, SE out, very good play. You also have corner strike, verticals, sweep, and just a ton of decent plays. Moving on, though, we have a couple of decent formations. Not really out of the shotgun, but this deuce close is definitely a solid formation, especially with the Ravens. They got two good tight ends. I love the read option out of here, and then you also have this mesh spot where you can just throw that streak on the left, and it'll burn man coverage and a lot of cover threes as well. So I've been liking this formation. You have tons of good QB runs out of this gun wing. You have a read option. You have a QB power. Also, there's just a ton of good run formations, especially once you go down to pistol. I like the pistol spread myself, but you could also go pistol bunch. There's a good read option out of that, and there's still, some decent pass plays. But yeah, this is another one of those playbooks. I think even more than the Saints, even more than the Raiders, you want to switch your formation, almost every play, and that's just going to be the way that you run this. You don't want to give them the same look, except for bunch. That would probably be the only exception, but you can really switch between sets almost every play, and it really does give you trouble worrying about QB keepers. There's a lot of good run plays, like I said, strong wing. Actually, it doesn't even have the stretch, never mind, but still really good read options, inside zones, and this can definitely give somebody a headache. So that's why it's number 5. Like I said, number 5, number 4 are a little bit worse than the top 3, but I think they're still decent. And if you really master this, you could have pretty good success with it. So that's going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, you want something like this for defense. Now, defense might be a little bit difficult because the defensive playbooks are so much different in Madden 21 than they are in 20, so I don't even know if I'd be able to do that. I would have to record footage from 21, and that's just not allowed. So let me know if you want something like that. I can sort of try to explain, but I can't really show you clips from practice mode like this. Anyways, if you enjoyed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and peace. I'm out of here.